I've robbed 27 banks in my life. Small ones, big ones. Downtown. Outskirts. Some inside office parks with marble floors. Some behind gas stations with flickering exit signs and coffee-stained carpets. I've walked out with cash in bags, in satchels, once even stuffed inside a trash can. But there's only one I regret. Not because I got caught. Not because the money wasn't real. But because of what I saw inside. And who I saw. It was summer, 2013. Rural Iowa. I was supposed to be lying low after a job in Spokane. Hadn't planned to work again for at least 6 months. But a fixer I trusted, name was Camden, sent me a whisper. One guard operation. No cameras inside. Off the books depository. Sitting on $500,000 in raw bills. It sounded too good to be true. And it was. The place was called Silas County Agricultural Credit Union. Not even a real bank technically. Just a deposit and hold facility for farm loans and co-op cash. No online presence. No FDIC registration. Practically invisible. I drove past it 3 times before I even realized it was the right building. Just a squat, brick box with peeling blue paint and a single sign by the door that read, "Members only, appointment required." I scoped it for 3 nights. 1 car came and went. Same car. Same time. Every day. Silver Crown Vic government plates. No logos. Camden said the only employee on site was a rotating clerk and an armed security contractor. Standard deal. The clerk was new, green, probably underpaid. The guard? Quiet. Never left the building. Didn't even eat lunch outside. That's what got my attention. No one ever saw him leave. Most guards kill time with cigarettes. They check their phones. They walk laps, look bored, stretch. This guy? Nothing. No movement on shift. No coffee runs. No idle chatter. He just stood inside, behind the lobby glass, from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Every day. So we hit it on a Wednesday. Me and Declan, my runner. Masks on, gear tight, entry at 8:47 a.m. I disabled the exterior lock with a delay trigger on the magnetic catch. Kicked in the secondary door. Flash bang into the foyer. No alarm. No clerk. No scream. Just the sound of fluorescent bulbs buzzing overhead. And the guard, already standing there. Waiting. He wasn't holding a weapon. He wasn't flinching. Just standing behind the teller counter, eyes fixed on me. Wearing a faded blue uniform with no badge. No name tag. No patch. No expression. Just blank. I aimed at him. Shouted, "Down! Hands where I can see them!" He didn't move. Didn't blink. Didn't breathe. That was the first time something felt off. But we pushed through it. Declan zip-tied him. We moved fast, hit the rear safe, blew the hinge, grabbed the core stacks. It took 5 minutes. When we came back through the front lobby, the guard was gone. Gone. The zip ties? Still on the floor. Still cinched. Like someone had slipped out of them without touching them. We didn't stop to argue. We ran. Got in the car. Headed east. Drove 6 hours before even checking the bags. $540,000 in small bills. Untagged. Clean. Perfect job. Except I couldn't sleep that night. Because the guard's face was burned into my brain. And when I tried to draw it, just to process it, like I've done with every mark, every job, I realized something. I couldn't remember his eyes. I remembered his shape, his jawline, the folds of his uniform, but not his eyes. Just two empty spaces where they should have been. 2 days after the job, I called Camden. Not to thank him. To ask a question I'd never asked before in my life after a clean getaway. Who the hell was that guard? He didn't get it. Standard local hire, he said. Contracted through Silver River Security. I got their name from the county records myself. But that didn't sit right with me. Because I'd already checked the county's database the night after we left. There was no mention of a security contract. No mention of the building at all. In fact, the Silas County Agricultural Credit Union? It didn't exist. At first I thought I had the name wrong. Maybe I'd misread it. But I didn't. Because I'd taken a photo of the door on my burner the morning we hit it. Just as reference. It clearly said, Silas County Agricultural Credit Union. EST 1958-inch. I searched the state registry. Nothing. No articles. No loans filed. No tax IDs. Nothing going back over 60 years. So I dug deeper. I used an alias to file a public records request for any building permits or zoning information tied to the address. A week later, I got the envelope. Inside was a single sheet of paper. Blank, except for one note in red ink across the top. No records. Do not pursue. Typed. Not handwritten. No signature. No return address. Just that. That's when I knew. We hadn't robbed a bank. We'd robbed something else. Something that was made to look like a bank. And whatever that thing was, it was being erased. Not just from files. From memory. I tried calling Declan. Burner dead. No response. So I drove out to his place. Trailer on the edge of Davenport. Rusted siding, 2 dogs that always barked before you knocked. This time? Silence. I opened the door. The dogs were still there. So was Declan. On the floor. Eyes wide open. No wounds. No blood. Just still. Like someone had turned him off. And his wallet? Gone. But everything else, untouched. That night, I burned every dollar I'd taken. I didn't donate it. I didn't stash it. I lit it, one stack at a time, in a steel barrel behind an abandoned rest stop off Route 30. The fire smelled wrong. Like plastic and ammonia and ozone. I don't remember driving home. I just remember waking up in my motel room and finding something under my pillow. A photograph. Of the guard. Same blue uniform. Same blank stare. Same missing name. But now, in the image, there were eyes. Staring straight at me. Like he knew where I was. Like he'd always known. 11 years passed. I changed names 4 times. Faces twice. I stopped running jobs, stopped trusting fixers, stopped trusting myself. But I never stopped thinking about that bank. I'd see it in dreams, sometimes whole, sometimes burning. Sometimes the front door was wide open. Other times it was bricked shut. But always he was there. That guard. Standing just behind the glass. Watching. Silent. Waiting. And eventually, I couldn't take it anymore. I went back. It was early spring, March 2024. I drove into Silas County like any traveler would. Windows down. Sunglasses on. Rental car I'd paid for in cash. Not a soul recognized me. No reason they would. The town hadn't changed much. Still just one gas station. One diner. 2 bars. And unbelievably, the building was still there. Same brick box. Same faded paint. But now, the sign was gone. The glass door was boarded up. No markings. No mail slot. Just a single rusted doorknob and a deadbolt with no keyhole. It looked abandoned. But I knew better. I parked down the street. Watched for 6 hours. No movement. Then, just after 6 p.m., a light flicked on inside. One light. Same spot as before. Above the front lobby. No sound. No silhouette. Just that soft, electric hum. I waited until midnight. Then I broke in. The boards came off easy. Old, warped, barely nailed. The doorknob? Decorative. The rail lock was inside the frame, magnetic timed. But I'd been here before. I still had the layout memorized. I bypassed the latch and slipped inside. And what I found wasn't dust, wasn't rot. It was preserved. Perfectly preserved. Lobby chairs still in place. Glass clean. Floors swept. And the security desk? Exactly where it had been. But this time, empty. No guard. No uniform. Just a chair, turned slightly toward the vault door. I stepped behind the desk. And saw the file. One manila folder. On it. Incoming. Inside, just one photo. Of me. Standing in the doorway. Timestamped 5 minutes ago. I spun around. Nothing. No sound. No cameras. But the vault door? It was ajar. Just enough to see the edge of the hinge. I don't know what made me do it. I should have run. Should have left right then and there. But instead, I opened it. And inside wasn't a vault. There was no cash. No boxes. No safe. Just a chair. Facing a wall of black glass. And in the reflection? He was sitting in it. The guard. Smiling. I couldn't move. The room was silent. No hum. No buzz. Not even my own breath. Just the chair. The wall. And the man in the reflection, smiling like he knew I'd come back. But when I turned around, the chair was empty. I stepped forward. One slow inch at a time. No alarms. No locks. No footsteps behind me. Just that black wall, smooth as oil. Then something flickered across the glass, like a projected image from behind it. Words. White. Cold. Subject 19 reentry, voluntary. Underneath that, a loading bar. 7%. Then 8%. Then 9%. And that's when I realized this wasn't surveillance. It was recognition. The system knew me. I stepped back, heart pounding, and the wall shifted again, this time to a video feed. A split screen. On the left, me, 11 years ago, standing in this very room, shouting at the guard. On the right, the same moment, but from behind the guard's eyes, watching me, gun raised, yelling. I stared at the footage. And something felt wrong. The man on the left, he looked like me, but not quite. Shoulders too wide. Hairline too high. Movement too sharp. It wasn't a memory. It was a recording. But not of a robbery. Of a simulation. A new line appeared on the wall. Program Lambda, Behavioral Exposure Under Stress Protocol. Subject 19, Reintroduction Success. I said out loud, "What is this place?" And the wall answered, through speakers I couldn't see. "The memory was designed to keep you away." I stumbled back toward the vault door. Something behind me hissed, cool air rushing through a hidden vent. The lights dimmed, then blinked out. The black wall dissolved into a smooth panel of mirrored glass. And in the reflection, I saw myself. Only it wasn't me now. It was me from 11 years ago. Same clothes. Same bloodstain on the collar. And behind me, stepping forward through the darkness, the guard. Only now, I saw the truth. He wasn't watching me. He was guiding me. I ran. Out the door. Through the lobby. Into the night. The town was dark. Too dark. I got in the car, heart in my throat, and drove until the road turned to dirt, and the stars disappeared behind cloud. When I looked in the mirror, I swore for a second my eyes were missing. Just two dark hollows where they should have been. Like his. It's been 2 weeks since I left Silas County. But I can't remember where I've been since. I still have flashes. Like dreams that feel too real. A photo of a building that doesn't exist. A face with no features. A voice that whispers one word again and again. Re-entry. So if you're hearing this, if somehow this story reached you, remember, not every bank holds money. Some hold you. And if you ever find yourself inside a place that shouldn't exist, don't open the vault. Because sometimes, the only thing locked inside is you.